became involved with this group around about 2 years ago now. I did a presentation of the project, and one of the members of the group was there and asked me to come back and speak to their group, which I did, and they were very interested in what I had to say, and they felt that the project could really help them in their aims in improving this site here.
Have actually used this area when my children were younger. We actually used to go for walks around here. But obviously as the years progressed, the area deteriorated. It wasn't being looked after very well. And so a lot of people, including myself and my family, stopped using it.
And then when we were approached to ask if we'd like to do something about the area, I jumped at that chance, as well as Margaret did. Ted did, and everybody else did.
It's been great for me as a constituency MP to be able to get involved in a very practical way, both here at Martin Wells Lake, but also in the community doing street walks, to point out to the council and others about, relatively small things that can make the environment outside our front doors be a much more pleasant place to live without a huge amount of money going into it.
We carried out an audit about 2 years ago. We had a look around the site, went round with the group and other interested parties and partner organisations, and looked at what we wanted to achieve in the area, what was achievable, what was realistic in kind of the time frame that we had.
Jim Shaw from Living Streets has obviously been a very active person involved in this group, and it's just been great to see Living Streets with both colleagues from the council like Dennis and others, the police, some businesses, but importantly the volunteers who live here being part of this project.
We've also had help from the local prison service, and we've had prisoners here doing their community payback hours actually resurfacing the path, so that's been a huge benefit. We've had other organisations like St Ledger Homes, who are the housing company here in Doncaster. They provided funds and resources for the group to buy tools and help repair some of the fencing around the site as well. We've also worked with local schools and colleges.
They've enjoyed, I think, coming down and working with practical work rather than the academic side of things.
We used to get burnt out cars where they'd come down, they'd bring the cars down, they'd steal the cars, come down here to burn them out, drugs dens. And we have eliminated, by doing what we're doing, we've eliminated most of that. In fact,
it's virtually zero now.
It's virtually zero now, which I think is a massive achievement for us and the community.
Well, a lot more people seem to be taking ownership now because the area's been cleaned up.
Jim's funding has funded the wood to make the benches. We keep going to different bodies, and without the agencies, we couldn't do this, so it's a team effort. And this area is lovely because it's close to the local supermarket. You see people walking around here that have been to the supermarket, down the shops, and they take this route now to walk back home. And it's just a lovely, beautiful place to be now.
I live down in the bottom end of the village, which is quite a distance from here, but also I can use this, and I have used it, to go up to my mother-in-law's. But mainly it's just, you just come up to see the wildlife. The enjoyment I get out of walking around here when I do, and I usually do it near the evening, is seeing the people that are actually around it with the families.
I find it's better than a tonic to come around here when I'm feeling a bit down. I bring the grandchildren up and their mates regularly. Whenever they come visiting, they want to come straight up here. And thirdly, I do organise group walks around.
What sometimes people need is people who can come along, like Living Streets, to provide them with a bigger picture of what is possible and to give some of that expert ideas and support and contacts and networks. Because I'm sure many people every day say, oh, something should happen about that. But unless an organisation or community representatives come along and say, well, let's turn that thought into a practical measure, too often, the thought doesn't become a reality. So we've shown that actually, with the voluntary sector, the council, we've had businesses, landscaping businesses help us out as well. As volunteers from in the community, we can make a difference. And I hope, and I'm sure it will be, an inspiration for the many other projects that are on our list in Edlington.